Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd at Bish's RV here at my Coldwater, Michigan hometown superstore with a model that came out last year that kind of caught me off guard in a very positive way. For the most part, if you would have said a no-slide 30-foot bunkhouse family camper, the same floor plan that everybody has been building for decades always comes to mind. And then this group comes up with something different. Now, one of the things that's a little confusing is that this is the FSX division of Salem and Wildwood. And what's funny is they actually they're within the family, but they get to play a little bit by their own rules and make up their own designs. And there's a lot of people that have said, I have absolutely no use for a dinette. And they said, what if we got rid of it? And instead what they did is they kind of flip-flopped this thing around and they just made the entire campsite of the living area nothing but kitchen counter, prep space, and storage, and gave us a pretty nice picture window to keep an eye on the kids. And I don't know if you've ever camped with kids. When you're inside, sometimes it's nice just to be able to keep an eye out, whether it's for peace of mind or whatever the case may be. But they also gave it this gigantic big like multi-function lounge. Now it includes a floating table, so when it is time to feed the kid or something like that, you got a good place to do it. But you could also take that table outside. Now, up front, one of the surprising things in this very private bedroom, which a lot of 30-foot bunkhouses don't have, is an Olympic queen bed. So it's a full 80 inches long, like your residential bed. It's about 6 inches wider, and you can't actually get sheets to fit that. Now, if you're looking at this and you're like, yeah, but I don't have any use for bunks, why didn't they just make that a giant rear bathroom? They did. They made a second version of this called a 233, and we're going to give it its own video. Today, though, we're looking at this 266 in detail, and obviously the living room and the bedroom, the general construction are going to be very, very similar, but they have a couple differences, like obviously the one has bunks and one doesn't. But we're going to go through this thing. We're going to hit on the things it does really well. We're also going to hit on the things it doesn't do or doesn't do well, so that you can decide if it's the right one for you or not. And if you appreciate that fair and candid look at things, hit that subscribe button, and let's get started. And to me, this right here, this is one of the best parts of this camper. You have some serious campsite window coverage going on right here. Whether you're, in the living room, walking out of the bathroom, the fact that it is a sliding privacy door up there in the bedroom, but the doors in the window and in the bedroom all kind of contribute to the viewing on this, I think is really awesome because it means you can keep an absolute eye on what's going on with your campsite, which not a lot of RVs do that. Now, as we work our way around here, there's good things in this RV and there's things that are not awesome. And I want to try to take some time to point all of them out. Like, I love the fact that they centralize the air. When you are in a very price-sensitive segment, it's shocking how many RV manufacturers still do not centralize their air conditioner. And I really think it's because they're essentially preying upon people that don't know the difference. First-time RV buyers that aren't aware of what questions to ask. It's like they're being predators. And yeah, this is simple. And this is a price-sensitive camper without apology. That's what this is. But it's not like trying to take advantage of you. And if there's an area that I think is a little deficient, I'm going to vocalize that through this video today to try to give you a little bit of an idea, This is a little bit wonky, but I mean, I can tolerate it. Like, you got some little coat hooks here. Your coats would kind of dangle down by the dinette, but I don't know. I'm camping. I can kind of deal with it. I don't think I'm going to be taking along giant winter coats, maybe a spring or fall jacket, By the way, do you know the difference between a coat and a jacket? In the United States, we often use those words interchangeably, but they actually do mean two different things. I'd be curious if anybody in the comment section is really aware of that distinction. But this also, right here, there's the window coverage on this and the seating setup. I personally love this. I don't think dinettes are stupid. I don't think dinettes are a waste of space. I think that they're excellent for some people. I'm not one of them. My family of 3, me, my wife, and my daughter, we did a one-and-done situation. That's enough. And, it gives us all plenty of room where we don't have to be shoulder to shoulder, hip to hip, like we're conjoined triplets? I don't know. You hear about conjoined twins. I've never heard of conjoined triplets. I bet that's a thing. There's got to be at least one documented case of conjoined triplets in the world, right? Quadruplets? I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The lighting package in this, they also did a pretty decent job there. And another thing that I really like, good counter space. When you're in these no-slide 30-foot bunkhouses, a lot of times you have exactly zero prep space. You have a sink and a stove, and that's it. And don't get me wrong, is it a wraparound rear kitchen fifth wheel type prep space? No, of course not. but it's not bad. It doesn't suck. And it's all like, you know, right next to your big farm sink and everything. You got the little cup sprayer outer thing. That's that circular thing right there on the side of the sink. And when you sit down again, it doesn't matter where you're sitting. You've got a pretty good view of everything, especially considering where they place the bunk windows. And notice that you do have windows for the upper and lower bunks. Now, it's not the kind of camper made with the expectation that you're going to sit inside and watch TV all day. But if you want to, this big chunk of blank wall right here, you might notice a little sticker in the middle of it. You see the TV hookups above it. That is where you could locate a TV if you were so inclined. Now, we're going to come back and open all this kitchen storage in a minute. One of my only gripes about this kitchen, because I actually really like this kitchen, is just the fact that it doesn't have a spot for a wastebasket. That's like one of the only things I wish it had. Now, I will also, again, try to be fair. I'll try to point out things that maybe you won't like. And this RV does not have a propane oven. It has an electric air fryer convection microwave oven, but it's not propane. It has a 3-burner propane cooktop, in case you're wondering what's going on. It's got the foam shipping cover on it, so it doesn't rattle trap around. I must have left that there and forgot to take that off. So I'll get you a look at the stovetop probably in a few minutes. The light color palette, I think, really helps. One thing, again, trying to be fair, talking good with bad, you might notice this design does not offer overhead cabinets, which means they didn't have a good spot to hide a stovetop exhaust vent hood. So instead, what we have here, right in front of the propane oven cooking station, it's a basic power vent fan. You're going to see another one of these in the bathroom right there. Is it amazing? Does it promote huge airflow? No, it does just enough, because this is a just enough basic series kind of camper. If you want more advanced stuff, look into, I think dollar for dollar, the smartest way to go. There's this company called Hengs, Hengs, and their Vortex fan series is awesome. By the way, viewer-submitted nerdism that I absolutely love, and I want to get documented before I forget. I don't even think this is true, but they referred to Hengs, Hengs, as huge exhaust of nasty gas fans, and I think that is hilariously awesome. Now, if you're looking, you might notice there's some interesting hardware under this bunk. That's because the bunk can flip up, but I swear it's supposed to have something like a gas strut or a latch. I think the copy I'm looking at, I think that got forgotten. And I don't love reporting that, and I could be mistaken, but I try to be real about things. If I see something, I say something, you know? So I had to make shift for video purposes, since I already opened my mouth and talked about the moving bunk, and I used the jack crank handle to prop that sucker up. That's not recommended. I don't like that. That's not intended to be the actual solution. At least it better not be. That's freaking stupid. Anyway, the RV does include a floating table for the the dining. I'm still wrapping my head around that jack crank thing. I'm honestly kind of shocked it worked as well as it did. You do have USB plugs for the upper and lower bunks as well. And this is an interesting little thing, little pro tip from Uncle Josh. The upper bunks have air conditioning vents. The lower bunks really don't. But you may also notice this bunkhouse doesn't have privacy curtains. Evidently, the family that sees one another is the family that stays together, as far as whoever designed this goes. But I guess that's, anyway, I'm just trying to share what it is, what it's not, what it's good for, all that kind of stuff. Draw your gaze to the right side of the screen and view and wonder as I demonstrate the fact that, 1, I can fit on the toilet, and 2, we have adjustable, removable shelving over here next to the shower, which I love. I don't understand why something like that is not more common out there. That is a very, very cool solution. There is one thing that really kind of baffled me right here, and it must be like a conflict with like a roof truss or something. Take a look again at the right side of the screen. You see my concerned face as I stand in the shower and whack my head against the ceiling. It was very solid where I was standing, so I do think that there's a roof truss, like rafter, directly above my head, which prevented them from including some kind of skylight. I would love it if they could find a way around that, even if it meant they moved the power vent fan above the shower and didn't give it a dedicated skylight, because the RV is 6.5 foot tall to the sidewall. So somebody like me, your head's gonna, hit that thing. Now, this RV has a window in the bathroom. Windows are expensive. What is more important to you? A bathroom window or some kind of skylight or vent fan combo above the shower? If you had to choose one instead of the other, what would it be? Also, one thing that I do love here, you're gonna get a little you know, cameo from me here with my head popping around the corner, you do actually have a full medicine cabinet. If I get you down here, it's a corner sink, but it's a base. It works. It's a sink, and it's got enough counter space that I think I could probably put, you know, some toothbrushes and stuff in there. Let me back up just a little bit. And I think we're at probably a good perfect time here to start cracking open the kitchen storage. So first of all, giving you a look there at the 12-volt compressor fridge. That is one of the larger 10 cubic foot varieties. Keep an eye on 12-volt fridge sizes over the next couple years. RV manufacturers are going to start shrinking them, if they can get away with it, to try to make their RV look and sound a little bit less expensive than the next guy's camper, so keep that in mind. I threw my phone in the pantry, by the way, for like a little point of reference there as we look around the kitchen. Awesome drawer space in this. Half dozen drawers. I'm happy if a camper like this has 2, and it gave us 6. Now, the dining bench thing is a little bit interesting because the one fixed bench portion against the bedroom wall, yeah, that's enclosed and there's storage under it. The rest of it is open faced underneath, so I think what I would do is I'd bring along some totes or something like that. But as you see, it's either tons of seating space, it can fold down into an absolutely ginormous mega sleeper. Again, I like it. Is it as comfortable as a home theater seat? No. It's a camper, dude. You know, it's not supposed to be like a house. This is a basic camper, but I basically like what this one's putting down. Now, there's a couple little things I want to do a little differently. Again, like if I wanted to bring a grill, we'll talk about that outside. If I wanted to upgrade a fan or whatever, what you're not spending on this one's upfront price tag makes those little personalizations very affordable. Also, no heat vents in the floor. I don't know if I mentioned that, but this is a very easy cleaning kind of camper. Working up past that pocket privacy door here into the bedroom. Again, we've already talked about some serious window coverage in this bedroom. There's household outlets on both sides of the bed. They don't do USB plugs. They also leave it a little bit open face under those side hanging wardrobe towers, so that, you know, if you're claustrophobic or whatever, you feel like you can still fit in there. Now, over here in the corner, on the wall opposing the bed, you do have a TV hookup, by the way. And I don't think I've mentioned this, but basically every window except the window in the door opens for airflow. Windows that open and windows that are tinted, both of which this RV has, cost a little bit more. So that's some of your pricing vectors here. You know, there's probably $1 cheaper camper out there. I'm sure there is. Now, notice too, this is a full 80-inch long bed, and there's still plenty of room to get around it and stand here to get dressed. This is a very real-world functional thing. But I want to address something real quick. If you look at this, it says king-size bed. Well, I'm going to get that mostly off there because it's not a king-size bed. It is literally what's called an Olympic queen. It's 66 inches wide. It's 80 inches long. It's wide enough that you can still walk around it, but still it's narrow enough you can still walk around it. It's wide enough that you get that extra elbow space in bed. And in case you're wondering, like, what the heck's an Olympic queen? That sounds made up. It's not. It's becoming more common. It's really starting to catch on in the RV industry. But if you get on Amazon, you search Olympic queen sheets or mattresses, you can actually find replacements for it. So I think there is some value to it. You might notice, again, both sides are hanging wardrobe towers. I should have brought it out. I did bring a hanger out once to test that. I want to give them credit. They enclosed the overhead cabinet space instead of just leaving a stupid open face shelf. So credit there. It doesn't have a strut, but like Bon Jovi said, we're halfway there. And again, if I see something, I say something. This has stapled cabinet fasteners. It's not pocket screwed. So if these two boards aren't really snug together, they get locked with a little bit of a gap, a little fingernail gap right there. And I can't stand that, but I'm not going to ignore it and pretend it isn't happening. I try to be a little more realistic about things. And real quick, lifting up the bed so you can see the storage down there. I love the fact that even as a basic camper, they still include gas struts, 2 of them, to make the bed easy lift. And notice how nicely finished the plywood base under the bed was. They rounded off the corners so you're not gashing your legs. Guys, I'm telling you, in the summertime, when I'm recording tons of videos with shorts on, my legs are constant scab factories. That's gross. Anyway, but you get the idea. I'm always banging my legs up on stuff. I don't have that problem here. I even love how they carved right into the plywood decking a grab handle for making lifting and lowering easier. Stuff like that really doesn't cost anything more, but gosh, it's handy, isn't it? By the way, if you had all natural organic scab factory on your RV Nerd bingo card, you probably won today. Ding, ding, ding. Anyway, no slides. Simple, easy, weighs less maintenance. Also, no problems with road mode. There's no slides getting in the way of anything. One of the cool things about a no-slide camper like this, I've personally taken advantage of before, I love it, is if you get into some weird traffic and then you get to your campsite late or whatever, you can back in, just stay hooked up to the truck, maybe just plug into the power real quick, hop inside, and go to sleep. And then in the morning, you can deal with setting up the rest of the camper. Not to mention, the setup's pretty quick and easy on one of these. Ooh, I didn't think about it. I got the sun glaring down on my 5 head right here, probably giving you a quick feedback glare. Did I just have a stroke? And to help give you a real-world idea of things, if you look on the left side of the screen, you'll see the brochure weights and measures. The actual dry weight of this specific camper, as it's been assembled and scaled at their factory, was 5,060 pounds. So that may vary a little bit from what's on screen. I need to get back in the habit of telling you what the actual dry weight of this specific camper is. It is a traditional 8-foot wide, and until last year, the FSX subdivision of Salem Wildwood was not allowed to make 8-foot wide tandem axle campers unless they were toy haulers. And that restriction has been lifted, and that's where this thing comes in. Now, its greatest asset is its greatest liability. As I said, it is built with a very sensitive price specificity, which sometimes means it doesn't have all the fancy pants features some of the other things have. Like, for instance, up here, sorry if the wind picked up, by the way. I know I just shifted gears very rapidly. It was dead out here, then all of a sudden the wind has picked up and it might be affecting the audio, so apologies there. Anyway, like, what I was getting at, this is a price-sensitive camper. It's a single propane tank. Last year, I kind of knocked them for it. And then I got to really thinking about this thing, and I got to looking at it. This is a camper made for fair weather RVing. My kind of RVing, frankly. It's made for spring, summer, fall, and probably later spring and earlier fall, you know? It's not something made with an Arctic kind of package in mind. It has no underbelly enclosure, by the way. I hope you appreciate that I'll point out stuff that you may perceive as a negative, even if you can't see it. I'll go out of my way. It also has no solar. It is, by default, a little princess pavement park camper, and that's my style of camping, guys. I take no shame in saying that. I like full hookups. I like ease and convenience, but I also like a basic camper so we're not sitting inside watching TV. I could have stayed at home doing that. I have a far more comfortable couch. That freaking awning. I'm sorry. I gotta say something. It looks like they used to make single axles exclusively, and it's like they forgot they're making longer tandem axles now. If I could wave one magic wand, it would be to make that awning larger, extend further back. That would be my one wish. What would your one wish for this camper be? Anyway, I'm gonna quit griping and I'm gonna move on. But back to the single propane tank. I still haven't even finished my stupid train of thought there. I got to thinking about this. You got a stovetop that, frankly, a lot of us rarely use. Some people live by it. Most of us don't. Big front pass-through. I don't camp when you run the furnace a lot. And other than that, this thing has no need for propane. So that single propane tank, I kind of get it. Frankly, I can't even remember the last time I changed a propane tank on the campers I use. So 20 pounds for a guy like me, I get it. When I say it out loud, it feels so uncomfortable. But the hard fact is, it would probably work just fine. For most people, anyway. You do still have a gas grill quick connect out here in case you want to do some propane cooking outside, by the way. And you may notice how they've swapped over from the conventional corrugated skin to the retro metal. Now, there's a couple benefits to this. There's also a couple downsides, and I hope you appreciate that. I'll point out both of those. The negative factors to this is that it's heavier and it's more expensive. So why would they use it? Well, arguably, aesthetically, it looks freaking cool, Batman. But more to the point, it's thicker, it's more impact resistant, and it has a what's called tough coat. It's got an anti-scratch treatment, effectively, which is why it doesn't look super shiny on the outside. But if a tree branch scrapes its way down the stupid thing, you're not going to ruin it. I just remembered they have breeze windows for both bunks. A lot of price-sensitive bunkhouses don't have that. Now, it doesn't have a ladder. It has ladder prep, but it does have a fully walkable roof, and I do have the highway right behind me. Now, I've said very overtly, and I meant it, The Go Play 26BH, for me, for my money, for a long, long time, I looked at that and I'm like, that is an almost ideal first time family camping kind of floor plan right here. And it's basically the same floor plan that I've camped in most of my adult life. But I look at this 266, which is coming into view slowly behind us because I'm trying not to spin you around too fast like a record baby. And I gotta say, for the things I personally like and the way we personally camp, I almost like it better. I almost feel guilty saying that because I camped in the Jayco 26 no slide bunkhouse for a while. Camped in a Go Play the last couple seasons, and I mean, it's what I've always known. It's what I've always liked. So it's like I feel like I'm cheating on them looking at this thing the way that I am over here, but I can't lie. I like it myself. It fits my camping very well. Specific boondockers, extended season campers, I get it. It's not your thing. But that's why there's all these different RVs. And that's why I tell you what they are good at and not good at so that you can decide which one's best for you. And if you appreciate that, hit that subscribe button, like our video, and take a look at the links in the video description. Whether you're curious or whether you're serious, we'll have links right there to check for pricing. And I'll also dig up some videos of some other no-slide 30-foot bunkhouses for you to be able to take a look at and decide which one you'd prefer to go with. So until then, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.